Hey guys, this is CanFree15 back at it with another video for you guys, and I'm here with a movie review for you guys. And it's been a while since I said that. Now, I haven't last said that since I made my review on Wonder Woman 84. But this is a big thing because this is the first movie review for me on the channel when it comes to doing a movie review on a movie that came back to theaters. If you guys don't know, now the fact that now it seems like the world is getting back to some semblance of normalcy, are going back, things are going back to normal. Now movie theaters are reopening and you can go see your flicks, your movie flicks, your movies in theaters yet again, with some movies still to this day, while still at this current time period being released on streaming services and stuff like that. Now, the movie we're talking about today is the highly anticipated movie Fast and Furious 9, or Fast 9. Obviously, a very highly anticipated movie. It was supposed to come out last year, around somewhat similar to this time in May of last year. So, the thing is the fact that with the whole pandemic coming out of nowhere, it delayed this movie for a whole year. And it was supposed to come out earlier this year in May, but they pushed it back here at the end of June. The thing, that was very interesting about this movie was the fact that, well, it's your same typical Fast and Furious movie that you always see for the last how many movies we've seen this franchise. Now, I will get into spoilers later in my spoiler portion of this review, but I'm here to just talk non-spoilers. Now, Fast and Furious, what is a brief summary of this movie? Essentially, the brief summary is the fact that Dom Toretto is living the quiet life off the grid with Letty and his son. But they know danger always lurks just over the peaceful horizon. This time, the threat forces Dom to confront his sins of the past to save those he loves most. His crew soon comes together to stop a world-shattering plot by the most skilled assassin and high-performance driver they've ever encountered. And that is Dom's forsaken brother, Jacob Toretto, played by, yes, Mr. John Cena. John Cena is now in the Fast and Furious universe. It's already big enough that we had The Rock in this universe. Now we have another WWE wrestler in this, world, or in this universe now. But yes, that's essentially your main plot without giving any big spoilers and everything. But obviously the thing is this. I thought mostly, and I'm going to kind of keep the spoilers to a low. I thought the performances by the actors were fairly good. Your typical stuff, like obviously Tyrese Gibson, your comedic character, he's always gonna freaking make you laugh and stuff like that. Vin Diesel, I thought he did a pretty good job. John Cena, I actually liked John Cena's performance in this film. I haven't seen other people's reviews yet at this point. So I don't know at this point. By the time this goes up on YouTube, I'll watch other people's reviews. But I thought John Cena did a pretty good job in his role as Jacob Toretto. Michelle Rodriguez as Letty was good. We have Jordina Brewster return as Mia Toretto. Natalie Emmanuel as Ramsey, and Ludacris as Tage Parker. I thought they were all good in their roles as well. So yeah, very, very freaking cool and stuff like that. So now obviously the big thing is, well, was this movie good or was this movie bad? And to be honest, I feel like this movie's going to be mixed in opinions. You're going to have some people like it and you're going to have some people absolutely hate it. Listen, it wasn't too long ago, a few years back, I did a Hobbs and Shaw review. Go check that video out if you want to get my thoughts on Hobbs and Shaw, the Fast and Furious spinoff. But I said in that review, if you're coming into a Fast and Furious movie, you should probably know what you're going to get out of it. Yeah, or you're going to get out of it. And that's it. And that is high octane action, insane stunts that never could be pulled off in the real world. They defy the laws of physics, which is funny enough because in this movie alone, they talk about the laws of physics. Or there's a part in the movie where Tyrese's character Roman brings up the fact that how they are all alive after everything they've been through, with all the crazy stuff they've been through, with submarines and all these other crazy stunts they've been pulling on. And he makes a good point and kind of breaks the fourth wall, which they do occasionally in this movie. They broke the fourth wall like a hell of a lot of times in this movie. Well, not a hell of a lot, but it was kind of like 2 or 3 times they break the fourth wall in this movie, talking about it's insane how we're doing all these stunts and stuff like that, and we're not dead. So they legit break the fourth wall, mentioning the fact that a lot of people talk about how they're doing all these crazy stunts and they still come out of here with no scratches, no injuries, no scars. I went to this movie with my friend and stuff like that. And we were in the car, just now when I was on the way back home, and we were talking like, there's no way these guys would not have like massive, damn near life-enduring concussions with the shots they take. They should have broken bones, but no, we're good. We're good. We just get up and we live to fight another day, and they're all good and dandy and stuff like that. And that's what I'm saying. If you walk into this movie knowing what you're going to get, and you've liked the previous movies, with everything I just recently said, you're going to get enjoyment, and you might actually be like, you know what? This was good for me. I enjoyed it. But if you're on the other side where you do not like this at all, and for some reason you've come for the story, and I'm just going to tell you, if you're coming into Fast and Furious movies for the stories, I'm sorry, I'm actually going to hate you because, listen, let's be honest, Fast and Furious has no story. They just throw something together to try to fit it in along with the crazy action stunts and stuff like that. And the story, by the time the movie ends, you come out and you're like, that's the story. That was pretty pathetic. Which in this story, I'm not going to give no spoilers. The story wasn't the best, I could say the least. It isn't good, but it definitely is pretty bad. The story here is kind of a pretty below average story and kind of predictable in terms of where characters go and everything and stuff like that. So yeah, that's the thing. And like I said, if you know what you're getting yourself into, listen, if you love it, you're probably more than likely going to enjoy this movie and you're going to go see it. If you don't like any of the Fast and Furious movies, especially with how they've been taking the series as of late, if I were you, I'd probably go save your money and go wait for next week to go watch Black Widow, because I guarantee you Black Widow is probably going to be a good movie. I wouldn't waste your time, but hey, you're just filling up those guys' pocketbooks if you go see this movie. I saw this movie. When I watched this movie, I was thoroughly enjoyed because I like the crazy action stunts and stuff like that. That's just me. I like good action in my movie flicks, and that's what this movie is. It's a good summer movie flick where you're going to get action. You're going to get crazy shit out of the ass, and you're going to be like, what the hell is going on here? I love it, and stuff like that. I won't get into details with what was the crazy type of gadgetry in this movie, but it's pretty crazy. And two, if you guys want, well, I won't say, but there's a part in this movie in the climax where, well, guess what? You thought after everything else they could have did, they do something insane in this movie that tops everything. You're just like, what the hell? I can't believe this is actually happening. And let me just say this. They've been hinting at going this type of direction for quite a while. So if you know what I'm talking about, I guess I'm sorry you were catching on to my little spoiler I'm saying, but I'm not going to give up what is going. If you want to see my spoiler review, by all means, you'll have to see that, and stuff like that. But yeah, that's the thing there. So yeah, and that's kind of the thing about these movies, man. Listen, it's just it. You just know what you're gonna get out of these movies. You know what you're gonna get out of these movies. That's it. Some of the jokes I would say are hit and miss. I mostly laughed at almost damn near any joke that is made, so I laughed at everything. It might be different for you people. You might laugh at a joke that I probably didn't laugh at, or I probably laughed, or hold on. I probably laughed at a joke that you guys would probably look at and be like, that's not really funny. But okay, fine. We'll just throw a stupid joke in there. But me, I'm a sucker for comedy, so I laugh at damn near anything. I'm a pretty easy person to get to laugh, and stuff like that. Again, I mentioned there's multiple times they break the fourth wall here, like very much. Again, very, very much, and stuff like that. I won't give the plot points of where they break the wall, but yeah, but the action was really good. I enjoyed it. It's just high, fast action that you just get in. Music wise, I don't really go into music with my movies. I just like, I thought the music was fine for what it was. Not gonna really dive into much. I'm not much of a music type of person. I just go to see the movies and stuff like that. So yeah, and then I guess you can say story wise to before I end up my non-spoiler review. Again, like I said earlier, the story it's not good. I'm gonna be honest. It's just not good. It's not. And obviously, with a Fast and Furious movie, the stories are not gonna be good. You just should go for these movies to see the action. That's the main reason why you go see these movies. That's the main reason why you're paying for your movie ticket. Just to go see the action. But for me personally, in my opinion, I like this movie. I enjoyed this movie and I had a blast. Um, in a grand scheme of thing, where I would rank this or in terms of rate this, I will say, if I'm being honest, it's definitely a 5 out of 10 or a 6 out of 10 watch. That's would be my rating. Essentially, in other words, it's just an average movie film, and stuff like that. Now, in terms of if you know what you're gonna get out of this is definitely a 8 out of 10 movie. If you know what you're gonna get out of a Fast and Furious movie because you've seen all the other ones, it's an 8 out of 10. But in the grand scheme of things, as a movie as a whole, it's a 5 out of 10 to be honest. 6 out of 10 is me being generous. When you bring everything together, it's kind of just a 5 out of 10. It's just an average movie, if not below average movie. But listen, at the end of the day, Fast and Furious, the directors, the writers, they know what this franchise is about, and they know what it is, and they know why people want to really see it. They don't see it for the story, so they just throw up a story, be like, let's try to throw up something together and try to at least get some intrigue to be like, oh, okay, this is pretty interesting, and stuff like that. But most people are gonna come for the freaking action. And hey, keep freaking doing movies like that if you're gonna freaking have people that are willing to pay their hard-earned money to be like, I want to get a good action flick out of this. I don't want to see the crazy stunts. More power to them. So yeah, but yeah, I enjoyed this movie in my opinion, and yeah, listen, this movie may not be for everyone. I said in my option chart, Fast and Furious movies are not for everyone, and that's okay. You shouldn't be judging people saying, this was good, this action stunts were good. At the same time, you can tell the people who hate the movie, you shouldn't be criticizing people who like the movie for those action stuff and things like that, for that reason. And hell, if you like the story, you shouldn't get ripped apart either. I feel like Fast and Furious has two different types. It's like those movies that make these movies in the middle. You're gonna have your people that love it, and you're gonna have those people that hate it, and you're gonna just have the people in the middle be like, you know what? I like some things about it, and I don't like some things about it. I'm kind of morally in the middle. There's some things I liked about this movie, and there's some things that I don't like about the movie. But in the grand scheme of things, you're really only coming to see these movies for the action because you know what Fast and Furious is about nowadays compared to, I guess, what it used to be in the past. And then another one thing before I get out of here, before I get to my spoilers, if you have not seen any of the past Fast and Furious movies, and you're starting off here just because kicks and giggles, characters show up that you probably have never seen before, never heard before, and you'll have no idea who these people are because they were already established in past movies. But other than that, I'm gonna get out of here. Hopefully, you guys have a great rest of your day, and if you, that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed my non-spoiler review. Now, in terms of my spoiler review, I will see you guys in a few seconds because, hey, it's going to be a few seconds on the video for me. It's going to be quite a while. But anyways, I'll see you guys in the spoiler section. Again, be warned. But yeah, anyways, see you guys in the spoiler section. Catch you guys later. Hey guys, you're back for the spoilers review of Fast and Furious 9, our Fast 9, the Fast Saga, or whatever. And yeah, let's talk about the spoilers because I guess very interesting here. But okay, so the movie starts off when we go into the past of Dom Toretto and we see his father racing on the racetrack. And the thing is, there's a part in the race where he comes in for a pit stop, and then when he's done with his pit stop, what is it? He manages to drive off, and there's this one racer, I forgot his name or anything, but this one racer he's trying to cut in front of, and everything was trying to cut in front of him, eventually gets to the point where it's like, well, guess what? Fine. So essentially, kind of leads him in. He hits his car, and then Dom Toretto's father manages to, I guess, get into a very bad car crash, which ends up killing him and stuff like that. Which is a very sad moment. Because you have Dom trying to run to the track to try to be there for his father, but obviously you can't do that on a racetrack with cars going about 200 miles per hour and everything. And that's when we kind of cut over to him just, being with his son and everything. And then you have Letty come over. They're just kind of chilling on this ranch and everything and stuff like that. And it's very, very freaking sad. Now, we cut back to the flashback moments every now and then and stuff like that. So what happens after that moment, we see essentially the driver looking at the remains of obviously their Dom and Jacob's father's car remains. Now, Jacob is pretty pissed off at this and he's looking to beat up the guy, but then because the guy's making some pretty snarky remarks. But then, lo and behold, the thing is, Dom gets in the way and he prevents him, Jacob, from, beating him up. But then, because of a little bit more egging on from that dude, Dom grabs like a wrench or something like that. I forgot. It's this thing you use to tighten up bolts and stuff like that. And he starts hitting him, and then he ends up going to prison because of it. Then he encounters two people and stuff like that. But yeah, that's what happened. No, but going back, we cut back to the present where he's with obviously his son and Letty. Lo and behold, this car comes up. Him and Letty thinks like, oh, it's something bad. So they get their guns out. They had little Brian in the freaking little shed area thing. And we see it's Tyrese's characters and everybody else that, managed to show up. And they're like, hey, yo, listen, we have something we need to take care of. Can you help us out with this thing? So what happens next is essentially the whole MacGuffin of this movie is to secure this weapon or like this technology thing called Project Ares, which essentially if whoever gets in control, which they activate it with both parts and the key, essentially they can control damn near every technological like thing in the world, all the world's computers and stuff like that, which would give people insane power, because that means you have damn near every access code to good heavens, every little nuclear weapon type of thing here and stuff like that, or anything dangerous that the governments for each country would not probably want you getting your hands on. So I forgot what country. They traveled to like many different countries. They traveled to like something that looks like the Amazon jungle to retrieve this thing because this device was in a plane crash. Now the shocking fact is that it looked all set up because there were like legit no dead bodies. Like there should have been this massive dead bodies, but they find the device. I think the country's army just shows up to try to retrieve it and stop him. So they managed to get up out of there. You have Roman literally taking on, and this is what I said in my non-spoiler review. Now, Fast and Furious is just strictly about crazy, funny gag action. You're not supposed to take this serious. So everybody else leaves. Roman's character is all left by his lonesome, and he's essentially it's like dang near 14 against 1. He gets to the point where he's stuck in this little area in this little cave stuff and everything. And the thing is, or the problem is, he's cornered essentially. There's people on the top, there's people on the bottom. So he just grabs the person he just jumped on, I guess rifle, and then he just starts unloading like it's Call of Duty, where you just spin around and he manages to live, and he takes out every one of them. Yes, because in a real world sense, 1 man versus 14 men cornered would definitely come out unscathed. Just one thing I just want to say. That's a very durable bullet vest that can manage to make you take all those bullets, because he should have got lit up. If this was real life, he would have got lit up and he would have been dead. And then second, the fact that these apparently army people I don't know. If they were looking to kill, they should have just killed him by shooting him in the head. I don't know why. There's multiple occasions in movies where you have characters shoot so horrible, the stormtroopers are laughing. And I'm like, you can't be serious. You can't be missing all these damn bullets this much. Even when they're running away, Roman, he's running and these guys are in a Jeep and they're shooting at him. I'm like, there's no way these people can miss a shot. I don't want to be in the army regardless, but I'm telling you, I guarantee you with my expertise of not shooting a gun, I could hit a running man faster than what these guys were. These guys made the stormtroopers look like, honestly, to goodness, clowns. Again, believability, well, it's a Fast and Furious movie, so whatever. Now, the thing is, it becomes a whole high-speed chase from here on out. They go through a fucking minefield. Again, logic tells you otherwise. You're not coming out of that alive. They managed to drive past a minefield and everything, so that's good. Roman somehow escapes, this mine that was supposed to blow him up, because his tank gets stuck in between these rocks. He sees it, the tank falling down, and there's this mine under him. He gets out of there, and luckily he gets out of there before the truck or the little tank manages to hit the mine. And it's funny, which I was probably one of the funniest moments of the movie is the fact, the tank flips over and it's looking and he's running, it's looking like he got the tank smushed him and killed him. And I'm just gonna say this, I swear, Ramsey gives probably the worst, I mean it, the worst reaction to somebody dying in their face. When it looked like Roman was dead, she was like, I'm like, at least show a little bit of emotion. You just saw somebody die. My God. But of course, Roman isn't dead because I guess he was just a foot short of getting smushed. But yeah. They managed to go on. Now it's Dom and Letty in the same car together. She's riding. Eventually she gets knocked over. She's in the same car as he is. And then lo and behold, we finally see John Cena's character, Jacob Toretto finally show up. Now, Letty already knows of Jacob Toretto, but this is the first time we've heard that Dominic Dominic Toretto has a brother, I believe. I don't know my Fast and Furious lore, but I think this is the first time they mention, oh, he has a brother. It's like, so what's next? He's got an evil step bro. I'm like, okay. And this is his biological brother. This isn't like some step brother because they in the flashback scenes. You're wondering like, John Cena is Caucasian. He's essentially a white dude. How the hell? We see in the flashback scenes all the damn time that the little kid portraying a younger Jacob Toretto does look Caucasian. So at least they got that right and everything. So yeah, he drives up. He takes the one half of the Project Ares device and he drives off, and it becomes a whole chase and everything. And again, mentioning the fact, like I said earlier, well, I'll get more to that after the aftermath of this. Essentially, he managed to get away because this high-speed jet owned by this guy named Otto essentially picks him up, and Jacob and Otto are working together to get to essentially a Project Ares under their hand and their watch and stuff like that. After seeing some crazy stunts after getting chased by the army, one of them is Ramsey, Tage, and Roman all driving on a bridge that is breaking. As it's falling down, it is breaking, and they still manage to make it across. Again, logic says you're dropping to your death. But hey, it's Fast and Furious. You defy the laws of physics. Even though they bring up the laws of physics every damn time in this movie, they break the fourth wall like two to three times, talking about this doesn't make no sense. The laws of physics should not be working like this. And I'm like, I know. It shouldn't. You would have been dropping to your death on that bridge. There was a point where the bridge was on essentially completely down, and they still managed to get him. I'm like, there's no way. There's no way. And to find out even more BS reasoning, Dom drives into the bridge remains, hooks onto one of the bridge little hooky things, and manages to get his car across. And it's like, yeah, okay. And the one thing I find it funny is how calm he is. I'm like, yeah, you just know, oh, I'm a badass. I'm just gonna be like, yeah, if we die, we die. If I make it through it, I make it through it. And it's like, just the fact they cut into and they did this many times where they cut into the car and stuff like that, and you see how, emotionless their face looks like as if they're just driving regularly. And I'm like, you cannot do this. Again, listen, crazy action. I love it. Anyways, they go back to the home base. They're in this plane, and as they're going back to their home base and everything, that's when we find out about, oh yeah, Dom's brother and stuff like that and things like that, which is very freaking interesting. And it's like, oh, well, guess what? That's just a coincidence. We never found out that Dom's had a brother this entire time. We're finding more secret things. Again, you could say, well, they're just adding things on for plot relevancy and story. And then we kind of get more of an understanding of the backstory and stuff like that, which I'll get into a little bit more. Now, they get back to their home base and everything, and that's when we see Mia Toretto, the return of Mia Toretto. I heard she was in the 7th movie from what I know, and she was married to the character Paul Walker played and stuff like that. So the thing is, she's coming back to say, like, Jacob's involved with this. Essentially, Mia's thing is, we find out she's been keeping some tabs up with Jacob for like a little bit, and then kind of just didn't do much of anything from that point on there. Didn't really focus on him. So essentially the thing is, they have to find the other Project Ares part before Jacob can get it, so he can control essentially damn near every computer in the entire world and stuff like that, which, yeah, if I pull it up, what the hell and stuff like that. I'm trying to pull it up. The Fast and Furious wiki. Yeah, the freaking Project Ares, a dangerous weapon program which will allow the user to control all the world's computers and advanced weapon systems when two halves are joined together. So essentially the thing. Now we do cut over back to Jacob's base with Otto, and we see that Cypher is in that base. Now she is in a freaking box, secured box, because, well, she's essentially a terrorist, and we saw what she did in the last main series movie where she was willing to damn near destroy the entire world to get what she wants. Again, what's the actress that plays her, as I pull up her name, Charlize Theron. Again, like we all knew, she was smoking in the last one. She's smoking hot in this one too. Um, and it seems like there was no trust. Now, it looked like from the trailers alone, it was her commanding Jacob to do all these things. No, she wasn't really the main mastermind. Now, obviously, by the end, she becomes the main mastermind because she's still alive. But essentially, you can see that her and Jacob are not working together. Jacob's just telling her, like, do this for me, and that's it, and stuff like that, and stay in that box, and stuff like that. And essentially, Cypher just tells Jacob, like, you don't want to make an enemy out of me. So I hope you don't regret your decisions by the way you're treating me and stuff like that. But well, at least you can say, I guess you can say this time, Jacob's not being seduced like Dom was, even though he kind of had a reason to why he joined forces with her. But anyways, the thing is, what happens next is, like I said, they split up into two teams. Letty and Mia go to Japan because there was something that Han left over that they could use to help them and stuff like that. So they fly over to Tokyo and things like that. While Dom goes to England essentially to go meet up with his brother, which he does meet up with his brother. And that's when we get the revelations after meeting up with his brother, the fact that, well, guess what? We find out that Jacob Toretto killed their dad. And I'm like, oh, wow, and stuff like that. That's very interesting. So we find out he messed with the we find out he messed with the little engine part, which messed up his dad's car, which ended up getting him to have his car damn near explode essentially. And that essentially gets to the point where obviously Dom was like, why did you do that and everything? That's when we get the flashback revelation and everything, of the fact that, that's how it ties into the, or really, that's what happens in the flashback, because as Dom's talking to these two individuals, that's when he realizes, like, he did it. So that's what happens. We kind of, I guess, some time in the flashback happens, and we see Dom and Jacob, essentially with Jacob doing street racing. We see Dom and Jacob do some street racing, and the thing is, since now Dom knows, he's like, well, guess what? If you win, you can come home, but if you lose, you can never come home. And the thing is, they have this race. Jacob, I guess, uses his boosters way too early, and it forces Dom to win. So he gets ahead, and then it pisses Jacob off because he essentially is kicked out of the house now. And that's why Jacob is the antagonist somewhat and has a upset, or is it going against his brother? I told you in my non-spoiler review, this movie's story is so stupid. It's not even, it's so weird. And this is a critique. So, because Dom was being a bad brother, again, listen, we later find out that it was the dad that threw the race, and he, told Jacob, do this so I can kill myself and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I know it's, not condemnable, and you should never be forgiven if you kill your own parent. But essentially, this is a brother just out of revenge because his older brother just kicked him out of the house and just, said, you're dead to me because of what you did in his eyes. But I think at the same time, I think they said Jacob told him like, Dad told me to do it, so it's not my fault. Um, so yeah. But I think Jacob told him that in the one bit in their home base scene when it looked like after he was captured and everything. But yeah, essentially it's just stupid family drama. Just a brother pissed off at another brother because guess what? Yeah. And because of it, he wants to kill his brother because of it. Because he got shunned out and he felt like he was always in his brother's shadow. What the hell storyline was this? I'm just being honest. And the storyline too is weird. It's like, well, stop this, but then you have this family storyline. Obviously, it's for obviously the whole family thing is to teach a lesson of like, even if your, siblings do something bad or somebody in your family does something bad, make sure, always still, even though it's something so bad, make sure you welcome them in with open arms regardless, and you don't like, I guess, no, abandon them, you can say. I'm guessing that's the family moral of the story, since the Fast and Furious franchise always has that family aspect in it. I'm guessing that's a family aspect. If your family member gets into some deep shit and some deep trouble, don't be the person to go and abandon them, because who knows? That can come back to bite you in the ass, and they might be against you and they might resent you. Again, when one half of the story is like, so it's just a brother that's mad at another brother, and it's a brother mad at another brother, and it's just they're fighting because they're fighting over their dad's death. What? Okay, yeah. Anyways, and, and again, Mia, she couldn't be like, listen, she couldn't not only tell Dom, hey, could you like try to reconcile with him? I know what he did was awful, but at least try to reconcile with him and bring him home. So I guess in the backstory, that's lazy shit on Mia too for not trying to bring it. I don't know if Mia was alive or a thing. You have to tell me, I guess, at the age how old she was. But okay, yeah, that's the whole thing and stuff like that. And essentially, that's why the brothers Jacob and Dom are trying to kill each other in this damn movie. Yeah, I call bullshit. Um, he manages to go over to Otto's mansion with all these chicks and everything. He has a confrontation with Jacob, and essentially Jacob tells him like, "This is my world, and you can't handle this world. So stay out of my way. Otherwise, you're gonna get yourself killed by me personally." And essentially, it ends up getting Dom arrested because he trespassed and everything, and he was willing to dang near attack somebody. But we see, oh yes, Cardi B's in this movie because hey, Cardi B's in this movie. And she's on Dom's side. So Dom manages to get out of there thanks to the help of Cardi B's character, and stuff like that. In Japan, Letty and Mia kind of talk about some things. Letty kind of brings the fact that how, she, I guess you could say that, having this intense life is kind of more her style, not really the peaceful type of thing. But then that's when they go into this house, thanks to Letty finding out, seeing a Mexican flag. It's essentially like Han's little old place. And they get raided by these, I guess, Yakuza people or something like that. You have this girl named Ellie help them out. And then lo and behold, when it looks like they're going to get cornered, they're going to get stopped, you see a sniper take some of these men out, and we find out that it's Han. So Han is not dead. So he shows back up. Oh, so what happens with Roman and Tage is they go to these guys who used to know Han, and yes, they had attached a car to a rocket engine. And I'm like, at this point in the movie, when I saw that, I was like, if they're going to use that to find some way to get into space, I swear, man, I swear, it's going to be freaking crazy. And even early in the movie, before they even decide to talk about or decide to go their own separate ways, to do all these tasks and everything. Roman makes a good mention, which is one of the few times they break the fourth wall in this movie, is the fact he's like, you ever wonder why we don't come out of these with no scars or very damaged or very dangerous injuries and stuff like that? And I'm like, yes, why don't you come out with all these injuries? He even says like, look, I took like dang near 14 bullets through my jacket and I still am alive. And obviously Tay just kind of mentioned, was like, yeah, because we're super here. We must be super. And then he's like, man, you just sound like a straight dumbass. Which, listen, I can help Roman and be like, listen, I think every Fast and Furious fan can understand. They broke the fourth wall there because they're essentially they're saying like everything that people say about the Fast and Furious, like how do they survive this nonsense? You couldn't do that. So they broke the fourth wall there. We see in the later part of the movie, Cypher breaks the fourth wall, talking to Otto, saying, "Oh, you know, if this was a movie, this be the part of the movie where the villain is in stuck into a corner." I'm like, so we're gonna break the fourth wall now. Okay. Oh, we're just breaking the fourth wall, everybody. All right, fine. Okay, that's fun. That's fine. Let's keep breaking the fourth wall. But yeah, essentially, Han's not dead. When the group gang meets back up together again, the thing is, we find out that, well, guess what? The way how Han didn't die is, guess what? He never died in the first place. Um, because when he entered the house to first collect Project Ares, when Ellie's parents, when she was younger, went into the car exploded. It was supposed to make you think that was him, so that car exploded. These people almost raided, almost these, I guess these agents tried to almost kill Ellie, but then Han came in to save Ellie. But then at the same time, the gang's asking like Roman, like, but but you died in the car crash. We all saw you. And the thing is, he's like, well, guess what? Mr. Nobody essentially faked my death. So essentially made somebody pretend to die as him, and essentially he was under the grid for all this time and stuff like that. So he never died. He faked his death. Now, I never watched in the previous one, so the Han death didn't really, I guess, emotionally get to me. But I guess that's how they explain how Han dies. So for a long time viewers of the Fast and Furious franchise, I guess put in the comment section, what are your thoughts on Han's death, on him faking his death? Do you like it or do you hate it? Do you think it's just a cop out way to keep it in the franchise? But yeah, anyways, what happens is what happens next is they see that Jacob's going to this one area to collect the next piece of the Ares, which is in, like, I don't know, I think in Ecuador or something like that. So they managed to get there. So the problem is, Randy's kind of just the person looking around. Eventually you have it to where Dom finds him. They get into a scuffle. Again, the action's pretty cool here. I'm not gonna lie. The action's pretty cool. Now, Tage and Roman, they get caught, and essentially it gets to the point where Ramsey's forced to drive this huge truck to also stop Otto and everything, and catch up to him. And this is when we get another big thing in this movie, or the main device in this movie that kind of builds the movie, and that is giant magnets, giant high-powered magnets that are very strong, that can take anything from within a radius. Hold on, guys. Okay, back with the review. Yeah, big magnet. So, and this magnet is kind of, again, another MacGuffin in this movie. The kind of big thing that, oh, this is the insane stuff they're gonna do in this movie. They got a gigantic magnet that essentially can force in cars, anything. So yeah, that's essentially what happens, and that's how they essentially catch Jacob. Dom gets into the truck, he manages to see Jacob, and then he turns on the magnet, it captures Jacob and stuff like that. Again, how Jacob does not come out of this with no scars, no scratches, no broken bones, not even dead. Yes. They put him in the prison when they get back in the base, and it's A-okay as if John Cena never took any damn damage. I'm like, you at least have to be bleeding severely. You have to have broken bones. There's no way. He literally went through buildings and got smashed into the truck. And I'm like, really? Okay, yeah, that's just believable. Makes complete sense. Anyways, they capture him, but it ends up being a trap anyways, because that's when Otto gets the whereabouts and everything and stuff like that. And it's looking like, oh, guess what? that's when we find out that, oh, Jacob tells Dom, like, listen, it was never my fault. Dad threw the race because, and he told me to do it, and he was going to sacrifice his life because he was in debt because and he knew the family was in debt, so he did it so we could make money and stuff like that. And it's like, well, that's just stupid for your dad just killing himself because he was in debt. That's pretty pathetic. Well, all right, fine, whatever, and stuff like that. Eventually, gets to the point where they try to chase after Jacob and get Project Ares, and we also find out that guess what? Ellie was the key to Project Ares this entire time. So they take her away. They try to catch up to her or try to escape, but then Dom tries to make the heroic sacrifice as well, let everybody get out while sacrificing. It's like, but guess what? He doesn't die, even though he falls like how many stories in this whole little cellar area and hits the water at probably insane rate. And through this, you get like these flashbacks where he's looking through the flashbacks of, I guess, the past and everything, and how much you realize he abandoned his damn brother and everything and stuff like that. And yes, Letty jumps in again. Don't know how far the drop was. I can remember from the movie. It looked like it was a pretty long drop. She jumps in and she manages to save his life, and he's still alive. Again, how Letty and Dom are both alive, no clue, no idea. This guy had like beams falling on him, and I'm like, there's no way you'd be alive out of this. If this was real life, you're dead. Which, funny enough, they're not afraid to mark people off. There was a part in this movie where they put a bomb on somebody and they kick him out of the thing, and he's parachuting, boom, blows up like it's a Syntax from freaking Call of Duty Cold War. So yeah, that's the thing there. It seems like also too, Jacob has no hostility towards Mia. Like, it seems like he actually does care and love Mia, but for Dom, he has no feelings lost. But that's when we get to the final battle, the final climax of the scene, where essentially, one, we have to stop the satellite from essentially being uploaded. So then, guess what? They managed to be able to control all the world's computers and all the world's dangerous weapons and stuff like that. Now that they got Project Ares, so you have Tage and Roman go literally. And I said this. I said this. I said this in my non-spoiler review. Fast and Furious, the franchise, have hinted out at the fact that they would do something insanely crazy. We always said how, what if they're going to take this to fucking space? Or just waiting for it, what them taking this space? And lo and behold, they go to space in this fucking movie. Car and everything. The same car that was attached to the rocket engine with Tage and Roman in it. They go all the way to space. Well, they definitely were not lying saying we would go to space in Fast and Furious. They definitely were not lying. So they're in space, in orbit, in the Earth's orbit. It looked pretty cool. And look, geez Louise, if you could say that was a cool way to get up into space, wonderful, wonderful, and stuff like that. So yeah, now again, regardless, I don't care what anybody says. I've seen rocket, explosions, rocket crashes. You cannot pay me enough money to get me off this earth, off this ground, to go into the far reaches of space to see, to just go experience and say, hey, you want to go on space and go see what the earth looks like? You couldn't pay me enough. I don't care if I'm going to go see the moon. I don't care if technology is going to be so advanced you can make populations and go live out on Mars. There's no way you're ever, and I mean ever, getting me to leave off planet Earth unless Earth is doomed for destruction. And that's when I'll be like, okay, sign me up on the nearest rocket because I'm trying to get off this planet before I die. But regardless, there's no way you're making me get on a rocket ship, go out in the far reaches of outer space, because guess what? One wrong move happens, guess what? You're essentially done. That's another thing about space, which makes it also scary, because Trust me, I've watched this. I've watched an anime called Astra Lost in Space. Listen, space is scarier than it looks. Go watch that anime if you don't watch. If you watch anime, go watch Astra Lost in Space if you haven't checked it out. Just imagining being lost out in space. If you make one wrong move, you're essentially screwed. But in the meantime, while they're up in space trying to find the satellite to shut it down and everything, what happens is they essentially try to get on with their magnetizing things. They manage to, get to this whole thing. You get some pretty good action scenes. Next, we see Jacob go up to try to fix something up and everything. That's when we find out that Otto has turned on him because Otto's little big bodyguard turns on Jacob. So now the villain turns on him. So that obviously makes Jacob turn good, which I think a lot of people saw coming, that they're going to find some way to make Jacob turn good. The only question is he going to come out of this movie alive? Because I felt like, well, I have a feeling he's going to be good by the end of the movie, and he's going to learn the errors of his ways. The question is he going to stay alive? And there was very testy moments in this whole scene where it's like, looked like he was going to die. Like when they got the entire truck to flip over, the whole cage thing to flip over and everything. You would think he's going to get smushed, but he managed to get into Dom's car and stuff like that. So, yeah. Anything like that. So, yeah, John Cena's on the good side now. So that's the thing. And when Dom and Ramsey get into the truck, they're trying to find a way to shut down. They get Ares, but they still need to shut down the satellite. Now up in space, Tage and Roman, they're kind of looking around. They find the satellite. They try to activate the magnet on that car to essentially hook it up and then smush it. But no, the magnet doesn't power up. And essentially what they have to do is they have to power through it using their rocket engine. But the only reasoning behind it is if they do that, essentially they're going to get stuck up in space forever and they're going to eventually die. Which when, Roman was bringing up the whole, how do we survive this? Essentially it hinted at death flags. And I'm like, when I was watching this movie, I was talking to my friend sitting next to me. I'm like, I guarantee you somebody's dying in this movie. Sadly, nobody dies in this movie. Nobody at all. But they smash through the satellite. They're A-okay and fine. They run into a space shuttle or a space station. The space station, that orbits around Earth. They call out. That's how they get picked up. That's how they eventually get sent back down to Earth. Don't know how they got sent back down to Earth. I'm guessing somebody must have came up and, in a rocket came back and took him back down to go get him and stuff like that. Jacob is good, and the crazy thing is it's looking like, oh, guess what? Now we find out that guess what? Which was funny enough. Because Cypher kind of seduced Otto into getting her out of the box. And that's what happens. We see this jet flying over, looking like it's going to try to take out, obviously, Ellie and stuff like that. But the thing is, we see that's Cypher controlling this jet. But then thanks to Dom, he manages to get the whole thing, and she's like, shit. And you're led to believe that, oh, guess what? She's dead. We killed Cypher. Good God. But no, Cypher was in a drone. Essentially, she was controlling a drone, plane from the home base. So Cypher is not dead. That's the last of her we see in this movie. So she is now released, and she is on the loose. So now it seems like in Fast 10, our characters are up against Cypher, and they have to recapture again. How about this? You just kill her in the 10th movie, please, and thank you. You should have did that in the last movie when you got your hands on her. But, she's still alive, so her crazy, terroristic type of mind is still going on there. Eventually, Dom and Jacob, reconcile, and they apologize for everything that's happened over the years and stuff like that. Essentially, again, another life lesson, saying, listen, even though, bad things happen between your siblings where your sibling can do something, at the end of the day, you're siblings, and you should love and respect them as much as you can. So he drives away, and he's off his own thing. He's not dead. They even tell him, like, they're going to be after you, and he's going to be like, yeah, I know. And he just drives off. You get a typical end scene where obviously all the characters are eating, having some big, feast together like every other Fast and Furious movie and stuff like that. Again, celebrating the family aspect and everything, and having a nice barbecue. Some of the food looked damn good, and stuff like that. There's one seat left, and we see this car pull up. I'm only led to believe that's probably Jacob. So now Jacob is in this Fast and Furious team. We don't know if it's Hobbs. Hobbs was not made a mention. Never got a reference. Never got referenced in this movie at all. Now I don't know if that's because of the beef The Rock has with Vin Diesel and Tyrese. That could be a reason. It's gonna be interesting to see if he appears in the next movie. Because we're getting Fast 10. Fast 10. With Cypher still alive, guess what? It's still Fast 10 is happening. I'm only led to believe that is Jacob. So maybe John Cena will be appearing in Fast and Furious 10. And then last but not least, we get a post-credit scene where we see Shaw. Yes, they mentioned Shaw, but not Hobbs. He was punching this one bag. There's this one guy. He has this one drive, and then lo and behold, somebody knocks on his door, and then Han shows up. Now, I didn't know this, but when I did some more digging, I found out that Shaw was the guy that tried to take Han's life, and they just ended it off right there. So we'll see what happens next. Are Shaw and Hans gonna come to blows? Or are they gonna just talk it out and just reconcile with one another and be like, hey, yada yada yada, let's talk this over and join the team? But like I said in my non-spoiler review, in my opinion, it doesn't have to be yours, my opinion, I got enjoyment out of this. The story, it definitely sucked. I'm not gonna lie, the story was just bad. It wasn't good. It wasn't good. You're lying to yourself if you think the story was good. But the thing is, at the end of the day, you get some pretty cool action scenes and stuff like that, and that's kind of it. But yeah, other than that, that's kind of it. So anyways, I'm gonna end off this video. So if you guys liked my Fast and Furious 9 review, please leave a like. Put in the comment section your thoughts on this movie and stuff like that. And did you like it? Did you hate it? Or are you just in the middle about it? As well as are you just going to be done with the franchise, or are you looking forward to Fast 10? But other than that, guys, I'm going to get out of here, guys. Hopefully, you guys have a great rest of your day or night over checking out this video. Until then, guys, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.